What's going on, you guys? This is the Collecting Brothers. Today I'm going to be looking at Mythic Legion's Illythia wave in its entirety from the Four Horsemen Studios. We're going to be unboxing them and taking a quick look at each individual figure. This will be my first time opening them, so I have no prior experience with the figures. I'm very excited to get these open. It's been a long time coming. Let's check them out. This wave I pre-ordered in January of 2021. This wave took a long time to get here. The all-in cost it was $495, so close to $500. But with shipping and tax total, I paid about $560, and that was just also, it might vary because I live far away from the East Coast where the Horsemen are located. But yeah, it should be around $550 for this entire wave. The theme of this wave was kind of woodland elves versus vampires, and of course we have our main four horsemen, Illythia. Starting with the $37 price point figures, you get 5 of them here, 3 kind of woodland elves and 2 vampires. So I'm gonna open them from the ones I'm most interested and excited from into the least. So from these single packed figures, I think the one I'm most excited for is this woodland creature that's like a goat boy. His name's Krotos. And yeah, let's take a look at this. So I've been collecting Legions for a couple of years now. I started with the pre-order for Illythia. That was the first pre-order I put. And the way I heard about them was I was located here in Utah. And Megalopolis City of Collectibles, those scammers and stealers used to have their store located here, their physical brick and mortar store. And they had like a 1-year anniversary party. And they brought 4 Horsemen down. They brought Shartimus down. It was a really cool event. And 4 Horsemen were there, and they were selling a couple Legions figures on hand, and I was able to pick up, I think 2 or 3, and I just fell in love with them. So, taking a look at Krotos here, just phenomenal sculpt as always. Like, that's what I think captures people the most with the Mythic Legions, is the sculpt work, and as well as the paint work. And another thing, I think when you first hold your Mythic Legion, they just have a smoothness and a different feel when you're playing and posing with them than most, Hasbro or McFarlane toys. It's just it's a different experience, and honestly, it's a better experience playing with these versus playing with like Legends and Multiverse. I don't know, even though these ones sometimes have most of the time have less articulation than most of your Legends. It's just top-notch toys. These are just top-notch toys. Okay, let's see what he comes with really quickly. So we have Krotos here. So he comes with this staff, and this is a new piece. It's kind of like a shaman, woodland wizard staff with some intricate detail. I think the bandages could have used a wash, but no worries. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. And of course, we're getting his pauldrons with some nice green paint on there. And we're getting an axe, the pauldrons and axe we've seen before. And then we're getting this little pouch, which, like I said, I've been collecting since Illythia. And I don't think I've ever seen this. So this is a new piece with like a really nice ornate design on the front. A little scroll or blanket. All right, so let me get him decked out and see how he looks. So here's Krotos. My overall thoughts, I'm a sucker for these like hybrid humanoid animals, and they do a lot of them. They do a bull. They have, what else do they have? Like kind of like a raccoon, kind of ferret guy. And especially there's like a guy named Faunus, which I wish I could have gotten, but he's like from an old wave. Hopefully down the line we get that head sculpt. And I just like these also too because they come with very unique head sculpts that we don't see that often, whereas other times, if it's like a knight character, it's like a helmet that we see multiple times. It's just a repaint. And honestly though, that goes with most of this wave. This whole wave, all the faces are not really like, they have alternate helmets, but they all come with their human flesh faces, which is really awesome now to see, just because it's unique to that character. One thing to note is this is very rubbery and very flimsy. I've never seen him use this soft of a plastic. I don't mind it too much. So yeah, that's Krotos. He is kind of using like a hybrid. He's using like dwarf legs, but with like a humanoid body. Now, next up, the thing I'm most excited for is Artemis Silver Cord 2. So they did release an Artemis Silver Cord before, and it was like a deluxe figure. It came with like these large pink fairy wings. It was quite a while ago. I don't have that figure. And so I'm definitely glad that they're doing this, like these two versions, because even Baron Vologar, who's he's like the vampire leader in this wave, he got like a second edition basically. And the reason why I like it is because it helps, kind of collectors that came in late to the line like me. But also it still respects the veteran collectors who've been collecting and supporting the line since day one, because while it is the same character, the costume and the whole look of the character is different. Okay, and now this is going to be my first Mythic Legions with the new soft goods. We've been seeing these now. I feel like I pre-ordered, tons of these figures with these new soft goods. But this is actually the first time I've opened a figure with the new soft goods by C. Jessam. So really excited to see these, how they function. They look amazing. The wires look great. The crazy thing about it is that they only raised prices by $2, and that wasn't really because of like the added soft goods. It was mainly just because inflation and shipping and everything has gone up in price these past few years. So $2 extra, it's crazy because I feel like adding those $2 is worth it for these soft goods. Like just getting soft good upgraded to these figures now, that's worth $2, well over $2. So okay, and once again, just look at the paint job and look at the quality of plastic that the Four Horsemen use. I don't know what it is, but it's almost like I would describe it as a rubber leather kind of. And because of that, it actually looks really good on this figure's torso, because it's kind of supposed to be like a leather look, and it just looks like leather. Just phenomenal. So Artemis Silver Cord, she's kind of like the leader of the woodland creatures and the elves. So really cool here. All right, let me just add all of her accessories and we'll get back to it. Okay, something that I'm seeing for the first time too is her very unique and very awesome pauldron piece. It's actually not connected using the port system that they've always used. It's just, you just slide it on and there's a strap over it, and it holds it in place very, very well. And honestly, guys, these cloth goods are just phenomenal, out of this world. Mythic Legions to me is almost becoming my favorite toy line. And it's crazy to say because it's not even something that's tied to a property like Marvel or DC or Star Wars. And we don't really have much story to go on besides the bios. Yet I'm just totally invested in this line. Just because the quality of product that we get from the Four Horsemen. So the cloth goods are insane, guys. It almost looks like it's done by a customizer, something that you would outsource to somebody to make a custom soft goods for you, that they would charge $25 to $30 just for the soft goods. Okay, the next thing she comes with, because like I said, this is version 2. So the first version, as I mentioned, was a deluxe, and so it came with really big wings. And these ones kind of come with just these really tiny wings, kind of like they're folded in, and you just attach those to the back. I do need to heat them up because I don't want to break them, because these seem like they could break pretty easily. They're not really rubbery, they're pretty hard plastic. So I'll heat those up later and attach those. Touching her head back on here. Yeah, don't want to risk. Don't want to risk breaking that, you know. Let me just attach the arm. Something else I would say to be careful of is her little braids that come down the side of her face. They are rubbery, so there is like some flex and you can bend them and they won't break really easy. But I would still be careful with those. Same thing with the antlers. It is a flexible, pliable plastic, so I'm not too worried about those breaking. So definitely some good choices there. What she comes with now is this elvish sword. Nice looking sword. It kind of looks like Sting, right? Same shape as Sting. And some arrows and a single arrow, and this can attach to the back strap on the strap of the pauldron. And then finally this amazing bow. You know, it has a real string that you can cock back and fling, and it's made from like, you know, some deer or stag antlers. Just a really nice accessory for her. So overall, you know, I'm really feeling this faction, this Artemis, you know, these woodland elves faction. This is like, I think this is my favorite faction. I'm starting to feel this faction the most. You know, I'm not really big into the knights. I'm big into like goblins, orcs, but when it comes to like the good guys, I'm into these woodland creatures, these little elves. So yeah, there's Artemis Silvercord with the new cloth goods by C. Jessam, or with the help by C. Jessam. You know, he helped them execute, you know, I think the factory and how. And honestly, I'm surprised how they are able to do this at a factory level and mass production level. The quality that we're getting on those soft goods, insane. Okay, next up, out of these three that are left, like I said, I'm still going with the elves, man. Lord Bardrick is next. There's his bio. And this guy interests me, you know, one, because he's brown. Like, that's pretty cool. The fact that we're getting, you know, more races now, I think, in Legions. You know, they just showed part of their retailer exclusive wave, Sir Lige, and it's got an Asian head sculpt, which we don't see. I'm pretty sure that's the first time we've seen, you know, an Asian character. So just getting more, you know, diverse characters. I think it's cool to see because it lends itself to the shelf display, right? You don't want to have uniformity, right? They're already, you know, they reuse a lot of the same sculpts. Of course, this wave is a lot of new sculpt, I would say. Like, this is the first time I'm seeing a lot of these torsos and legs, but you know, like that's why I think just getting different colors, even if it wasn't brown, just like getting like a blue human or a green human would be really cool, just to diversify the shelf, and make it so it's not so stale, you know, the same sculpts, because you know a lot of it is reuse, and it's fine because they do reuse the sculpts very well, I believe. So I have no issue with the reuse. But okay, so Lord Bardrick, here we are. And one thing, guys, is the smell, man. I don't know what paint they use or what plastic they use, but when you open up your first Mythic Legion, get a nice whiff of that. Thing smells good. I might be huffing paint or huffing glue here, but that's my style. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, just tons of new pieces with this wave. Like this torso, I've never seen. This collar piece, I've never seen. This skirt piece, I've never seen. These arms, I don't think I've ever seen before. This is brand new. Just crazy amount of new sculpt. And it's good to see. It's amazing to see that the Four Horsemen, you know, are not just giving us those same sculpts from Wave 1 that we've seen countless times. So he has very similar hair to Artemis. Long dreads with, you know, some intricate details, some horns. Like I said, these are rubbery plastic, so no, it's not scary that they're going to break it all. Now let's check out what he comes with. Okay. So he comes with this golden elvish bow, and like I said, same thing with Artemis, real string. Comes with this huge elvish, you know, kind of elvish blade-ish looking, I guess hammer or staff, you could say, scythe. This really long sword. Oh no, long sword. There we go. Nice look at that gold paint. And just like with Artemis, he comes with his pack of arrows and a single arrow. And here it is compared with Artemis's. Like I said, it's the same sculpt, but Artemis does have extra red paint apps, and hers are like a bronze, and his is like a green color. And then crazy too now. Now, you know, they're expanding. They're giving us more value. They're adding, you know, sometimes extra hands, extra feet. You know, we've seen this with the Aether Wave. I think the first time we saw something like this was with, what was his name? Vorthog. Vorthog the Orc. He came with, you know, knight feet, but then he came with orc feet, like orc human feet. So now they're giving us, yeah, alternate hands and feet. So this is some fisted hands for him. And then lastly, he's going to come with his pauldrons, which are all new. Never seen these before. All right, and I always like to put, you know, the weapon I feel best suits them. And seeing, you know, they're woodland elves, you got to go with the bow and arrow. One thing I'm noticing is they're not giving, of course, back adapters. Like everybody has enough back adapters because not even very many characters even come with wings. Back adapters are in a surplus. But one thing that I think they're taking away is the strap, which, like that leather plastic strap that we used to get that you could just wrap around either the waist or over the shoulder. And because of that, you know, there's no place to put the bow and arrow. And, you know, you wouldn't have been able to just because of his long hair. So I just attached his, you know, all his arrows on like his belt. There is a belt and you can hook it on there. So it's decent. It's good enough. But I would still like for them to include, you know, that leather strap. I think it's very versatile, and it's just a good piece to have. So that is something I'm noticing with all three of these. Neither of these three figures came with that common leather strap that we're so used to seeing. So there we go, Lord Bardrick, and look at those three guys. That just looks like some mean dudes, mean dude and gals. Those are really awesome. Okay, next up we're going to be opening, let's see, which one do I open next? Volgar or Valak? Yeah, we're going to go with Valak. No. We're going to go with Baron Volgar. He looks way cooler. More interesting. Okay. Oh. So, you know, he is kind of like the leader. Baron Volgar is like the leader of the vampire faction with, you know, Illythia. So this is his second version because we've already gotten a version of him. And he does come with quite a few bit of stuff. Let's see here. All right, so taking Volgar out of the package, he has an insanely unique and ornate chest piece. It has like an Illythia sculpt right here in the front. And, you know, this is something that's really awesome because it's something that most likely, I would say, we're only going to see with Baron Volgar. And even this collar piece, man, look how crazy that is. I love these little teeth that poke up. And then, you know, for the most part, it is, you know, that common knight body that we've seen several times, these gauntlets. But they are using these new side pieces. These new side flaps are new. And, of course, this belt, I think maybe we've seen with Magnus, at least this first four part. Because I remember, if you guys remember the Magnus, the paint was, like, rubbing off. Like, it was really wet. Like, the brown paint, you touch your Magnus figure, and it would get everywhere. But that's why I always remember that. But this middle piece, I think, is different from Magnus. And then his vampire sculpt, man, with a huge slash of a scar right there. Looks good. Okay. Let's see what he comes with. So he comes with this huge sword. It's got some purple paint, some black paint, silver paint. He then comes with another sword, you know, the same one we've seen with Lord Bardrick, but just in black. And then he's going to come with this shield. You know, we've seen this with elvish kind of warriors first. But they're using this with vampires. And I think it does fit the aesthetic of vampires. You know, like they have a lot of sharp edges and corners because they're, you know, vampire teeth and the pointy ears. And so I think this fits the theme of vampires. And then we have his very unique shoulder parlins. Like I said, we probably will only see this with Baron Volgar. I mean, perhaps they'll reuse these, but they're very unique to him. It has like little dragons on them. Yeah, it has like little dragon on it, if you can see, on like snake. And then it's like little bat wings on the side. And then he comes with this fur piece, which we'll attach, and then as well as a cape. Okay, now this is something I think Mythic Legions really needs to improve upon. They're terrible capes, and I think they are, because I'm seeing, like, you know, they're doing the wired capes now, and the wired capes are double layered, and, you know, they're sewn together more properly. Because this cape that we've been seeing now with them, this system, they just rip so easily. This is, first of all, a very thin fabric, and if you can see, it's not much holding it together at that edge. So, and I think they are addressing this problem, and I think they are fixing this, but we're just still seeing this. These capes are just terrible. I think this is one of the things that Mythic Legion still needs to improve upon. All right, so here's Baron Volgar. I got him set up with, you know, the weapon I like. I think this sword suits him well. Added his pauldrons, and I definitely do like this fur piece. You know, if you put it under the pauldrons, it will sit nicely. In the back, it kind of crunches up, but you can push it down and get it like cinched in between the two pauldrons, and it will lay a little bit better. But I love the fur piece, how it sits like around the neck, and you can kind of see it. Like, this guy just looks like Gucci, man. Like, this guy's rich. I did elect not to put this cape on just because I hate these capes, man. And I'm so glad they're working with CJS and we're getting these new soft goods, because that cape, I'm not going to bother with it. So there's Baron Volgar. Really nice figure. Honestly, better than I expected. I was not that interested in the vampires, but that Baron Volgar is really nice. Okay. Last regular deluxe figure. Well, last regular figure we have here is Valak. Another vampire. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. This guy actually is really cool. I picked him last, but I honestly forgot that he came with that. I'll show you guys here in a sec. Alright, Valak comes with another one of those capes, but like I said, we're not going to bother with that. Honestly, like, what I'll end up doing is getting, like, extras of new figures that come with the new soft goods. For just custom pieces, you know, like, I'm going to get some, because you get the figure, right, and you can customize that however you want, but just for the extra soft goods, I'm really interested in getting multiples from new waves. Okay, so here's Valak. He's using a lot of the new parts. The same skirt piece as Lord Bardrick, same legs as Lord Bardrick, same belt, arms are the same as Lord Bardrick, but this front piece is unique to him. Well, not unique to him, but unique to him in this wave. So he has this nice hood. This hood is very nice, and he has this nice vampire face, and kind of like this. This is very loose. It doesn't sit too well and kind of wobbles about. So that's something that, I mean, they should have honestly used a port. Like the maybe attach it to the back adapter port. That could have been something they could have done. Okay, let's see what he comes with. So Valak is pretty cool in that he's like kind of like I would say like a vampire ranger. So he comes with a lot of the things that like an elf or a ranger might have. So he comes with this nice black shiny longbow, and it is very different compared to the more intricate and sharp-edged elven bow. This bow is still very nice. I love this bow. Of course, another, you know, arrow set, and it is very different from the others. You know, it has blue paint, purple paint, and of course you get your single arrow, and we get this sword with the nice scabbard. I love when it comes with like a scabbard. It and the hook, and you can attach it there to his waist. These shoulder pauldrons, which I believe are brand new. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen these. These are brand new shoulder pauldrons. And then the reason why I was saying like, oh, I forgot how cool this figure was because he comes with like this peregrine falcon type, bird. How cool is that, man? That is sick. All right, there he is with the accessories that I'm going to display him with. And I misspoke. Apologies to Forestman. They know what they're doing. I'm dumb. So as I was saying, this piece was loose, but it actually isn't. Once you put the shoulder pads on, it actually sits very nicely. And while it does move a little, it's not bad, and it's expected. And these shoulder pauldrons are very useful. I think they're very thin and very little, and I think they don't get in the way of a lot of articulation, which is good, but also allows for maybe more soft goods and more overlays that you can put on top of a character. Whereas like, with Baron Volgar, it was really hard to get that soft good piece on there. And with that soft good piece and those intricate big shoulder pauldrons, it's hard to even move him, Whereas Valak, he moves very nicely with these new shoulder pauldrons. So I'm very glad that they made these and hope to see them, more on figures in the future. And what a great figure. This, honestly, it's so hard to pick, but I'm actually feeling this Valak figure more than even the Bardrick. I know I opened him last, but this Falcon piece, so cool, man. And it just comes with like this little attachment piece. You just have to take off the hand, and it just slides right on. And he's got like a little blinding helmet there. And just look at that. There's like a dark wash here. Just phenomenal. This Valak figure, man. This one really, I'm feeling this one a lot. All right, so that does it for the figures that were the $37 or $35 price point. I can't remember if this was the 37. I think this was 37 when they changed the price up. Honestly, I can't remember. But yeah, the regular figure price. Next up, we're gonna go into the deluxes and the big figures.